Your dog is not stubborn. Your dog is not untrainable. Your dog is not difficult. You just were never taught how to teach. That is the truth that every professional dog trainer knows, but almost no one tells new owners. The problem is never the animal sitting in front of you. The problem is the sequence of steps that were either done wrong, done out of order, or never done at all. And right now, somewhere, there is a frustrated owner repeating the same word over and over, louder each time, convinced that their dog is broken. Their dog is not broken. Their method is. By the end of this video, you will walk away with the exact, research-backed method for 5 commands that every single dog on the planet needs to know. Not just what to say, but why the method behind the command is just as critical as the command itself. These are not tricks. These are communication tools. And once you understand how your dog's brain actually works, everything changes. Stay until the end. Because the 5th command? That one could save your dog's life. I'm your host at K9 Guide, practical dog training knowledge that actually works. If you're new here, hit subscribe right now. We release new science-backed content every single week. Let's get into it. Before we get to the 5 commands, there is one concept you must understand, because without it, every command you try to teach will fall apart. Timing. Not kind of important. Not one of many factors. Timing is the single most critical variable in dog training, and the vast majority of owners get it wrong by approximately 3 seconds. That doesn't sound like much. But in the world of canine learning, 3 seconds is an eternity. Here's why. Dogs do not learn through explanation. You cannot sit your dog down and say, "Look, when I say sit, I need you to put your bottom on the floor." That's not how their brain works. Dogs learn through one thing, consequence. Specifically, the immediate connection between a behavior and what happens right after that behavior. When a behavior produces an instant reward, the brain fires a tag. It says, "That thing I just did, that is worth doing again." But the operative word in that sentence is instant. Peer-reviewed research in applied animal behavior has shown that the effective learning window in dogs is between 0 and 1 second from the moment the behavior occurs. 1 second. After 1.5 to 2 seconds, the brain's associative connection drops dramatically. The dog is no longer linking the reward to what they just did. They are linking it to whatever they are doing right now, which might be sniffing the ground, looking at the window, sitting back down after just having stood up. This is exactly why you need a marker. A clicker or a verbal word, something sharp and short like, "yes." Said in the exact same tone every single time, the exact millisecond the behavior you want occurs. Not after. Not almost after. The moment. Before you start any of the 5 commands we are about to go through, spend 2 to 3 sessions just practicing your marker. Hold a treat. Wait for your dog to do anything interesting. The moment they do it, say, "yes," and deliver the food. Get your timing dialed in. Because a marker that is even 2 seconds late is not just useless. It is actively teaching your dog the wrong thing. Got it? Good. Now let's build. Sit is not just a cute trick for photos. Sit is the foundation that everything else is built on. A dog that reliably sits on a verbal cue is a dog you can manage in almost any real-world situation. At the front door before guests come in, at the vet before an examination, on the sidewalk when a cyclist comes flying past, before a meal. Sit is control. And control is safety. The most reliable method to teach it is the lure method. Here is exactly how it works. Hold a small piece of high-value food, something your dog actually cares about, between your thumb and forefinger. Bring it right to their nose. Close enough that they can smell it, not close enough that they eat it. Now, slowly move the food in a straight line back over their head toward their tail. Watch what happens. As the nose goes up following the food, the anatomy of the dog forces the rear end down. You are not pushing anything. Gravity and physics do the work. The moment, and I mean the exact moment, the rear makes contact with the floor, say your marker word and deliver the food. Do not say the word sit, yet. This is the step most people skip, and it's the reason most dogs learn sit poorly. You need the behavior to be happening consistently before you attach a word to it. Repeat this 10 times across 2 short sessions. Your only job in those sessions is to get the physical behavior happening reliably with the lure. On the 3rd session, as the rear is coming down toward the floor, just before it makes contact, say sit clearly once. Mark. Reward. From that point forward, the word comes just before the behavior occurs. Not during, not after. Before. Within 5 to 7 sessions of 5 minutes each, the majority of dogs will sit on the verbal cue alone without any lure at all. When that happens, begin fading the hand motion. Reduce the size of the gesture gradually across sessions until it is gone. The goal is a dog that sits because they heard a word, not because they saw your hand move. Here is what most people get wrong about stay. They think it is a separate, standalone command. It is not. Stay is an extension of whatever position the dog is already in. It is a duration cue. It means, hold what you are doing right now until I come back and release you. And the mistake almost every single owner makes is asking for too much too fast. There are exactly 3 variables that make a stay harder. Duration, how long you're asking the dog to hold position. Distance, how far away from the dog you move. And distraction, what is happening in the environment around them. The scientific principle of criteria shifting tells us to build 1 variable at a time. Never 2. Never all 3. 1. Start with duration. Ask for a sit. Say stay once, just once, not 3 times in a row. Wait 2 to 3 seconds. If the dog holds it, mark and reward. If they break, say absolutely nothing. No correction. No disappointed sigh. Simply reset and try again with a shorter duration. You are not punishing failure. You are adjusting the criteria so the dog can succeed. Build duration up to 30 seconds before you touch distance at all. Once you have a solid 30-second stay, add 1 step back. If they hold, step back in. Do not call them to you. Mark and reward in position. Returning to them teaches the dog that stay means hold until I come back to you, not hold until I call your name. Add a release word. Something like okay or free. This word signals that the boundary is over. Without a release word, your dog is always guessing when they are allowed to move, which creates anxiety and inconsistency. Build to 5 steps of distance before you add any distraction. And remember, every new distraction is a new starting point. Drop your distance and your duration back down whenever something new enters the environment. The dog has not regressed. The difficulty simply went up. This is the most important command your dog will ever learn. It is the command that will one day matter in a situation where there is no time to think. When your dog slips the leash near traffic or bolts toward an aggressive dog, or heads toward something dangerous on a trail. Come is the command that keeps your dog alive. And it is the command that is most commonly destroyed by well-meaning owners. Here is how it gets poisoned. An owner calls their dog, the dog comes, and the owner immediately clips on the leash and ends the walk. Or gives the dog a bath. Or does something else the dog finds unpleasant. Do this enough times and classical conditioning kicks in. The dog makes a simple association. Come, predicts the end of everything good. So when the owner calls, the dog hesitates, sniffs the ground, drifts away. And the owner gets frustrated, not realizing they trained this behavior themselves. Come must always, without a single exception, predict something wonderful. Start indoors at close range. Say your dog's name to get their attention, then say, come once. The moment they take a single step toward you, mark it. When they arrive, reward them with what trainers call a jackpot reward. 5 pieces of high-value food, 30 seconds of enthusiastic play, genuine celebration. Make arriving at you the single best event of their day. Every time. No exceptions. Practice 5 repetitions per session. Move to the garden, then to low distraction outdoor spaces, then gradually into higher distraction environments. Never practice off-leash recall in an unenclosed area until the behavior is completely solid on a 10 to 15 meter long line under real-world distraction. If your dog does not come when called, do not repeat the command. Do not chase them. Chasing teaches your dog that running from you is a game. Instead, walk in the opposite direction. Crouch down. Make unusual sounds. Move away and make yourself fascinating. When they follow your movement, mark and reward. You are teaching them that chasing you is always the better option. Down is underestimated. Most people see it as a slightly more dramatic version of sit. It is not. Down has a significantly higher behavioral value than sit for one specific reason. A dog that is lying down is a dog that can settle. In a cafe. At a friend's house. In a vet's waiting room. In an airport lounge. The physical position lowers the dog's center of gravity and shifts them into a calmer psychological state. It is more durable under distraction because it requires more physical commitment from the dog. Lure from a sit position. Bring the food to the dog's nose and move it straight down toward the floor between their front paws, then angle it slightly outward. As the nose follows the food downward, the elbows begin to fold. The moment both elbows and the chest make contact with the floor, mark and reward. Do not say down until the behavior is happening reliably with the lure. Same principle as sit. Some dogs resist the down position because it places them in a physically vulnerable state. Belly exposed, movement restricted. If your dog keeps popping back up instead of folding down, try luring them under a low obstacle, your bent knee, a coffee table, a low bench. The physical barrier naturally encourages the folding motion. And never, under any circumstances, physically push the dog's back end or shoulders down. Forced positions do not build reliability. They build resistance. They activate what is called the opposition reflex. When pushed, the dog pushes back. The behavior must come from the dog following the food. That is the only version that lasts. This is the one. This is the command that will one day save your dog's life. A chicken bone on the sidewalk. A dropped prescription medication. A dead animal in the park. These are not hypotheticals. These are situations that happen to real dogs every single day. And in those moments, you will have zero time to negotiate. Start with 2 hands each holding a treat. Close one fist around a treat and present it to the dog at nose level. They will do everything: sniff it, paw at it, lick your hand, try to pry your fingers open. Wait them out without saying a word. The moment they pull their nose back, even slightly, even for half a second, that is voluntary disengagement. Mark it immediately and reward from the other hand. Never from the closed fist. Never. The dog must learn that ignoring the item is what triggers the reward, not persistence. Repeat until the dog pulls back the instant the closed fist appears. Then introduce the verbal cue. Say leave it, the split second you present the fist. Mark and reward the disengagement. Once this is solid, progress to an open palm. Then to a treat on the floor with your hand hovering above it, ready to cover it the moment they reach for it. Say leave it. If they disengage and look away from it, mark and reward from your pocket or your other hand. The treat on the floor is never the reward. This is critical. The moment the floor treat becomes the reward, you have lost the lesson. The value must always come from you. Equals 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 Outro, closing, timestamp reference, 7:34 to 8:20. You now have 5 commands. Sit for control. Stay for duration. Come for safety. Down for settling. Leave it for protection. None of them are complicated. All of them require the same 3 things: short sessions, precise timing within that 1-second window, and absolute consistency across every single person in your household. A dog who has learned sit from one person but not from another has not learned sit. They have learned to respond to one specific context. That is not a trained dog. That is a partially trained dog. Train together. Use identical words, identical hand signals, identical timing. Every person in the home must be on the same page. 10 minutes a day. 5 days a week. That is it. Within 4 weeks, the difference in your dog's responsiveness will be visible to every single person who encounters them. Not because your dog suddenly became smarter, but because you became clearer. That is the truth that every professional dog trainer knows. The problem is almost never the dog. It never was. If this video helped you understand how your dog's brain actually works, do one thing. Share it with someone who is still repeating sit for the 4th time in a row and wondering why nothing is working. They need to see this.